Okay, we are recording. So, welcome to Greg Bottril from author of Can I Go and Play Now? Um, Welcome to In Conversation with in the Jig Shack. Very excited. It's not raining, so welcome. Good morning.
Thank you, Vanessa, and good morning to you as well. Really excited to be with you. From
I know.
one shed to the other, by the looks of things.
Have
I'm
you got
sat in my
a shed?
shed.
Oh, see, that's what we need to do. We need to promote the sheds. Yeah.
Shed living.
Oh, it's not raining with you in Devon.
It is, but very. Do you know the word miserly? Do you have that where you are, miserly? It's mizzling. Probably a Devon word, maybe. But
Is
yeah,
that?
like light rain.
Oh no, I don't know,
No,
Miss Lee, but that's a new word for me.
isn't it? Yeah, there you go. Look, I've just taught you something on in the summer holidays.
Exactly. Well, it's sunshine in Hampshire, so welcome. So, in conversation with, this is our new feature. We just started, and so delighted to have you. And basically, what we want to know is your why. Why are you doing what you're doing?
Right. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
why is a really critical word for me in early years. And my why behind writing the book that I wrote was because I was being visited quite a lot in my own setting by students, by teachers, by head teachers that wanted to come and find out some of the success story of my practice. And I kept on encountering people that didn't really understand play. Play was something that was quite foreign to them. They kind of had a kind of sort of a preconceived idea of what learning is and what learning looks like. And I was showing them something different, that you could actually use play as a tool, particularly in schools. And my why is seeing that actually the children are magic. They have like an inherent magic to them. And often I kind of sort of see that the adult world doesn't necessarily recognize that magic. And I felt very lucky that I seemed to be able to see that magic, and I just wanted to share it with other adult, well, the adult world, if you like. And I genuinely believe that they do have more than we think that they have.
Yeah, they do.
And children encounter a kind of a system, if you like, that very quickly talks over the top of them. I was I've been a teacher for 10 years, so relatively quite a short period of time. But before then, I used to work for a scrap store. You know, scrap stores.
Yeah, we do.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, a really, really brilliant tool to have. And I used to work for one, and we used to. It was back in the day of the Labour government, and they were throwing money around all over the place. And we managed to go in 2005, managed to go to Reggio Emilia,
Oh,
to an
wow.
international, yeah, to their international 1 week conference, 2005, and it was just, I wasn't in education at the time particularly, but it just changed how I saw children. And it just coincided with the birth. Well, my daughter was probably 3 then, I think 3, and so it was about that time that you're really beginning to see children become
Yeah.
people, if you like.
Yeah, they
And it
are.
was just
Yeah.
transformative. And I just came back, and when I eventually decided to go into teaching, I just very quickly realised that there was a system here that wasn't like that I'd seen in Reggio Emilia. And I think often in early years we kind of get into, there's a Reggio way, there's a Montessori way, and we kind of say, and probably rightly so, that it's difficult to culturally kind of take some things from Reggio and just put them into our British system. But you can take various things, and one of the things for me was the image of the child and how we see children. And my why has become now, I just want to try and take on this adult world perception of what learning is. And I've kind of want to dedicate time now to trying to challenge it, I guess.
Okay, so you've written a book, Can I Go and Play Now?
Yeah.
What made you decide to write the book?
To write it.
That is a
Okay.
big why. Why are you
Oh,
doing
here's why a book. Okay. Well, I was when I get going about early years, I'm quite hard to stop. And I was basically at a dinner party, and someone just was just got chatting to someone, someone in our village as it goes, and they were just asking me about school in relation to their own child's education.
Yeah.
And she said, "Look, you're a teacher. What is it that you do?" So I started rambling on about what I did, and she went, "Why don't we?"
Books?
Yes, I did a little bit. And she said, "Why don't all schools do that?" And I said, "Well, it's because they don't know." And she said, "Well, I actually work for a company. Why don't we, for a publishing company? Why don't you put something together?" And so it's not my decision, but just go and put it in and see what they think. And yeah, it came back and they said, we love this. It's something different. It's something different to what that Sage would ordinarily do.
Yeah.
And so they went with it and had faith in me that it would have a bit of it would resonate. And they knew, I think within about, once I'd written it, the proofreader came back and commented on the book and said just how passionate it was. And the publisher said to me, the proofreaders never comment on books. Very rare. They just do their job and it comes back. And yeah, so the why was really just try and spread the word. It was a labor of love. I mean, I did it while I was full-time work teaching. So I did it throughout my holidays and any spare time. When I took my daughter to ballet lessons, I'd sit in the pub. Probably if you read it, you can probably read like I read it in the pub. But I didn't drink, I promise, when I wrote it. But yeah, it was just it was something that was burning inside me. I think I just felt like there was something that I could say. I had a message, and I felt like I could write it in a different way to an academic book.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be an academic book, but I didn't want to write an academic book because, for me, the magic of children doesn't need research. You either believe in it or you don't believe in it. And genuinely, I feel if you don't believe in it, then you shouldn't be working with children. And that to me, well, that's a bit harsh, I know, but
no, it's true, isn't it? It is
true for me.
You don't, it's like having that. When you see practitioners and they don't talk to children, if someone didn't talk to you for 2 hours, how would you feel?
Absolutely. I mean, I go and train, go and do sort of talks at the local college, and I always start with, if you're sat here because you've been made to, or because you don't know what to do in your life, leave now. Just go. Just get your stuff and go, because children don't need you. Children need adults that want to be with you. And again, that sounds a bit harsh, isn't it? And no one gets up and leaves, of course. But it's that trying to get that message to young people that actually this matters. What we do with children really matters. And I think that's been reflected by, the mental ill health that we're seeing, the disconnection from learning, a curriculum that seems to have just been, created by people that really don't understand children with an agenda. And I think as the adult generation of people, if we know something, if we know that there's a magic of children and we know that we can at least try and impact on something, then we should do that. And I guess that is my ultimate why, is I want to try and change something. And why not? We only live once, don't we?
Yeah, we do. So how are you going to do it? How are you going to change it then? So I know you've got a Play 2 conference coming out in November.
In November, yeah. So that's, I mean, there's several things that I'd like to do. I certainly want to try and get involved on a local authority level, trying to do some advisory work, not, with schools, because I think there is part of that, with teacher training as well. That's something I'm really interested in, because again, I think often, when I trained to be a primary school teacher. I had 3 days of early years training. That was it. Yeah. And I remember we sat in we sat around a tough spot. There were some cows in a tough spot. And I was thinking, what is this? What is continuous provision? What does that even? I had no idea. And I think teacher training needs to kind of liven itself up a little bit about child development and early years, because actually too quickly it comes top down, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
And actually your school leaders tend to be your year 5 and year 6 teachers, your careerists. Fine to want a career, but actually what it does is it drives that key stage 2ism down. So Play 2, for example, the conference that we're going to put on is a day where we're trying to sort of celebrate play and also demonstrate that actually play is just such a powerful tool to use within a school or within a preschool setting. And actually that power of play that actually comes from the children. It's not always got to be set up for them, that actually they do have things about them, this magic that I've talked about, that actually, that if we allow them and enable them, they can learn and they can grow and develop in their own way, and they can lead their own learning. Of course, we need to put in skills, but that's kind of what I want to do, is kind of just I think unless if we don't change that, we're always going to be creating teachers and a society as well
Yeah.
You know, that's forever seeing learning and education about that it's just in a certain way, and the kind of alternatives of like homeschooling and of Montessori and Reggio, they always remain as an alternative.
Yeah.
But actually, the vast number of children are going through a state system that no one seems to really question.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like my daughter just finished her GCSEs, and she's now out the other side, and that's how it feels. You know what I mean? She's got through it,
Yeah.
but it shouldn't be that, should it?
It's almost a tick box, isn't it? Done that.
It
Done
is.
that.
It's hugely, and it's easy for everyone just to sit there and just say education is this, is this, is this. But actually, I want to try and at least put some efforts into trying to change that somehow.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm really passionate about joining voices for that, because one person can't do it. And I'm not saying, I'm not crikey, I'm not saying I'm the savior of anything or it all comes down to me. It's not that at all. But it's just,
Oh, we were going to come to you for really good
oh,
advice and
not at
tell you
all,
what
Vanessa.
you need
No,
to
no, no,
do.
not at all. There are many, many people out there who are far more experienced with much greater depth of knowledge than me, and are having a really big impact. And you know them as well, and I would count you in that group as well of people who are far more experienced and more. But I'd like to feel like I can join in. I'd like to feel like there's a space there for someone who's passionate. That's what I do have, is passion. I may not have you know, other things, but I can certainly bring passion about play.
And I think you're right that if actually, if we lose that passion, then we're in the wrong thing. And I always say that if you
Totally.
lose the fire in your belly,
Absolutely.
then you're in the wrong.
And I think there are many, aren't there? You'd have come across in Vanessa P practitioners that have lost that spark, that have lost that kind of that why.
Yeah.
And it's very easy, particularly when you're in a school system.
Yeah.
It's I'm not going to say it's easier in a nursery, because that would be disrespectful of nurseries. But in a nursery you can control a little bit more, can't you? How you do things. You've got a
Yeah.
little bit more freedom potentially.
Yeah, you have got a little bit more freedom. However, there it's still going down that route. It is that tick box exercise because
Hugely,
everyone's so worried about their Ofsted inspection
of course,
that you
absolutely,
need to make sure that everything's covered. And
absolutely.
I have that thing where I say, just take for 1 week, just 1 week. Don't do anything. Don't do any observations.
Yeah,
Do any tracking.
yeah,
Just
lovely.
sit back and watch. Have
Yeah,
fun, it's called. That's what it's
yeah,
called.
yeah,
And watch. And then you
yeah.
can see that 1 week is not going to do any harm. And I
No,
think that's the problem. We get into that whole, I need to do that. I haven't done that observation. They need
yeah,
to
of
do
course.
that. They need to do understanding of the world. I haven't done it.
Yeah,
Stop, breathe, enjoy.
yes. Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think if the one impact that I've had, feedback and reviews of my book, and I quite like using social media to connect to my readers as well.
Yeah,
Is that's what I'm finding, is that actually the it's bringing joy back. It's bringing that sense of actually there is an alternative here.
yeah,
And just going back to that preschools, is that actually what's going to happen with the baseline assessment, you can see it coming. Nurseries are going to feel under pressure to get children to a point whereby children can pass a test. And lo and behold, we're then going to have this testing culture slipping into nursery. And actually, nursery of all places should be the one place where you children should be playing.
yeah,
I mean, they should be playing in school as well.
yeah,
But I meant more that schools have a much bigger system.
yeah,
They have a much more, it's about this, a whole school approach to stuff, which often sits with key stage 1 and key stage 2,
yeah,
but doesn't with early years. And actually, it should be early years who are moving their practice up through key stage 1 and key stage 2. And there's some brilliant books out there, and people working with schools trying to get them to kind of see that is, that can be effective, and it actually
yeah,
can give the results that the adult world want, because ultimately that is what education has become, hasn't it? About
yeah.
it's one big tick box
Massive tick box.
ultimately.
Yeah, yeah. So on your Play 2 conference, who do you
Yes.
have involved then? Who's
Okay. Well, there's a whole list, group of people. So we've got Topanga Smith's coming down from with her loose part. She's just set up or in the process of setting up a beach school, which all looks very, very exciting.
in Whitby? Yes.
Yeah, up in
I
Whitby.
know Emma
Yes,
very well. Yes.
I know. I'm desperate to go. I'm just waiting for her to invite me. But it all looks very exciting.
You don't need an invitation. Just go.
Oh man, she'd never forgive me. She'd never forgive me if just turned up on the door, would she?
No, she wouldn't. No, she wouldn't. She'd
Yeah.
invite you in. She'd love it.
Oh, I'm sure. No, she's lovely. To put me on the spot now, who's coming?
You got keynote. You got Monet Shankabaya.
Yes, we have. Yeah, really excited about her coming. Really excited.
Me too.
We're going to do hopefully Tom Bedard as well is going to be doing a sort of pre-recorded video for us. We haven't got him live, but we're in the process of trying to do like an interview with him that then we'll be able to play as part of the conference, which would be really exciting. Muddy Puddle teaches a teacher as well, who I'm really excited. Sarah from Muddy Puddles, she's going to be really exciting to have. Again, sort of focusing on the outdoors.
Yeah, brilliant.
And then we've got a host of people that are going to be. Our keynote is Ruth Swales, who I just can't believe we've managed to get to come. I've heard her speak a couple of times, and really powerful. And again, the whole thing just about play, and play being such a vital thing to have in our settings that we mustn't overlook it, and try and reconnect back to that. And the whole purpose of the day is to kind of just reignite that joy of play, because it's just that is what we need to do. And underneath that, then we've also got local people that are really passionate about creativity, about storytelling, about fine motor. Hopefully I might even get 5 minutes to have a little say. You never know. I'm sure I'll chip in somewhere, but yeah, it's about just kind of sort of reigniting people. And I feel like it's a conference that's needed, particularly here in the Southwest. And we do have quite high. People think of Devon, lovely holiday homes, etc. But actually, there's quite a lot of pockets of deprivation as well. Lots of places by the coast.
Yeah.
And that's a sort of a national picture, isn't it?
Yeah.
And actually, what we're trying to say is actually, play can give you these outcomes, but also on top of all of that, it enables children to be independent learners, to be critical thinkers, to be collaborators, to take risks, all those things that actually you sit them at a table just with an adult, they will never become. And it's that we really want to try and show. And if we can make it successful, which I believe we can do, we're going to then look to see whether there are other areas around the country that would like us to come and come do this conference in association with other people, and actually kind of get a band of. It's almost like I just see it as a family.
Yeah.
There's a family of play, the family of play, and actually, why don't we make that family as big as we can?
Yeah.
Because there's no good just being quiet about this. It's no good just being in like an echo chamber on Twitter. We've actually got to start engaging as well with people that don't understand play.
Yeah. No.
And trying to sort of feed in at those roots of training that actually show. Do you know what? Play is far more powerful than a worksheet will ever be.
Oh, don't get me started on a worksheet. Please don't.
Yes.
Please don't. So if they wanted to attend the conference, where would they find you? Tell me where after people listening to our little chat in the shack.
Yes.
Is yours called a shack, or is it yours called a shed?
It's actually it's just a shed. Currently it's where my all my recording equipment is for my guitars and stuff. It's not actually. Yours is all lovely. You've got Jigsaw in the back.
Oh, no.
Mine's probably just like a dumping ground. I've just found it. I've got guitars everywhere and stuff, and that's about it. At some point I will turn it into. Is that like a lovely little star? You've got a star at the background there.
I'll show you around my little suitcase.
Oh, lovely.
Down there, look.
Oh, amazing.
I'm a little typewriter.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, little dog on the settee. You got to have a dog on the settee.
Yeah, lovely. Yeah, I won't show you mine because mine's just an absolute pit. I've just found the nicest corner I can. I've even got my nephew staying. His bed's just at my feet here where he's been sleeping.
He's not sitting in bed though, is he?
No, he's not at the minute. No, I've turfed him out. Okay.
So where would they find you? You have a Facebook group?
Okay. Yeah, no, I do have several things. I've got a Can I Go and Play Now page on Facebook. I've also got something called the Can I Go and Play Now Huddle.
Yeah.
Which is a place. It's just a group, and that's just basically a place to share podcasts and articles that are about the power of play. Yeah. People are welcome to come and join that. But I've also got a website which is canigoandplaynow.com. There's no question mark in it. Canagonplaynow.com, and on there that they'll see in the banner at the top, it's something called Play 2, and the tickets are available through that. Devon is a beautiful place.
I
So
know,
if
and
you
it's
want
a
to come
shame
down,
I'm going the week afterwards.
oh man,
I know,
yeah,
a week down there, and I was just like,
oh
oh,
lovely,
yeah.
oh well,
Looking forward.
do feel free to come and pop in anyway. I'm right by the motorway.
No, right, definitely. I say thank you very much. I love your why. You have, you know, I woke up this morning with fire in my belly already, but you've really motivated me to get out there and.
Yeah, thank you. That's great to hear, Vanessa. And you know, again, it's thank you so much for having me as well, and just have the opportunity to chat to you and, you know, make those links. And you know, I genuinely look forward to hope to being able to work with you in the future. You know, in some capacity. And you know, let's keep playing and playing hard, because that's what it's about, and getting that message out there that play is really powerful.
You could be the Pied Piper.
I'll be following your tune now, Vanessa. How's about
that? Thank you very much, Greg. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Take care now, won't you?
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Bye.